Okay.
We're back in the dark.
Yeah. Well, it's at least we know it's safe, like in terms of possible. I mean, we've dealt with hackers before, but I think this time the things that are possibly spying, um, are not going to let us know.
I think that the shift has been from some concern over individual entities into systemic surveillance and systemic manipulation, right?
Yeah. And also, I was thinking maybe we should just speak in ROT 13, but that'd be really crazy.
That would be eureka.
I just saw, did you see that black car go by your window again? Is that the same black car?
I hope it isn't, because who knows who's in that car
Well,
and what they're up to.
it's always, in the movies, those black government cars.
Yeah, there keeps every once in a while we notice something parked out there, and then quickly it sort of makes its way. It's weird.
All right. And, it was interesting. I'm really happy with our group of students that we have this year.
Yeah, it's really nice and intimate. It's perfect. And
Yeah.
I think we've got some great open participants too.
Yeah. There's a couple new people, or I mean, some I recognize, but a couple other people have wandered in. But I was thinking about, like, first of all, we have some great talented artists, and the way they put their ideas on paper with their internet map project. But
Yeah.
I got the theme, like, the most worrisome thing that most of them seem to think about, was recognizing the amount of time that the internet, perhaps takes from them, or that's the worry, and that's real. But that's I wonder if they're thinking about, the surveillance technology that we're pretty sure is out there.
Yeah, I mean, that's a really good observation. I noticed too that a lot of their interpretation of internet experience is about time wasted or distraction or falling down a hole of some sort, like a rabbit hole. But there was never any sort of kind of representative concern with being watched or tracked or re-guided or repurposed based on the ways our attention are being mobilized without our knowing it. So that was curious.
Yeah, and I don't know. So, I mean, every now and then I just start to wonder, are we just making this stuff up?
Well, that's the question. Are we paranoid, Ellen, or is this world that we live in definitely one that's sort of changed, even in the last year or two that we've been networking narratives?
I think it totally is, and that's why we're going to kind of introduce some of these great bizarre examples that Chris Gilliard collected, of sort of like surveillance technology that sounds so outlandish that people made it up. And so, there was a lot of concern about, like, all the Christmas toys this year that are like internet connected and have cameras and things like that. And, potentially, there's a lot of problems with all these like smart TVs that are available now, that basically you have a camera on in your house all the time, and the talking Alexa stuff, which there's been a fair amount of documentation of some of these things, and still that is sort of like surveillance in terms of things like we're being watched. The more subtle level is sort of the collection and mobilization and use of data and our actions. In using web services, that we probably will never fully see how it's used.
Yeah. Our behaviors then become like small packets for purchase, so that in the end, bigger entities can funnel us in one direction or another without our even being aware of it. What's at stake on some level is a kind of a question of human agency in this big scape we're talking about. So sure. I think these are dark times in that regard, and I really hope that we dig up some better understanding of what's actually happening when we get online.
Yeah, and you know, with darkness, there's always the potential for light, and that's what we're looking for, and we're hoping not just to frighten people into so like feeling like they're stuck or that they can't do anything, but at least to recognize and be able to take some of their own proactive steps to at least poke a flashlight at the darkness when they can.
Yeah, how do we use the tools that we're given? How do we, in an awareness that that's more heightened, especially after we educate ourselves even further about these issues, how do we go about living our online lives? Let's keep asking that question.
Yeah, I swear I just saw that black car again.
Oh God,
I think you better go.
I better. Okay.
All right, close the shades too.
Yes, definitely.
All right. Well, I will. Well, I'll see you on our secure transmission in class.
Okay, sounds good. Float.
Float. Yeah, and for now, I think we probably have to be a little bit concerned and cautious, and we're just gonna have to stay in the dark.
Yeah, I guess we definitely are in the dark. So we're going to have to sort of find our way through that darkness to some forms of light. At least that's my hope. That's what I think we can do in NetNarr, is find our ways to some streams of light.
All right, let's do it.
Let's do it.